Welcome to beautiful California wine country. Sonoma Raceway has gone through many names in the past, but today the circuit is back to its vintage best. Welcome to Grand Prix Legends, live here on the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Peter Mackay, and I am privileged to be joined in the booth today by the better half of Double Scotch, Ryan Walker. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Ambrose, using camera angles perfected by Dougie Beer. Now, Sonoma has a number of configurations and is a very, very difficult layout, and here is our GSRC track guide to tell you a bit more about it.
Welcome to Sonoma Raceway. One of California's most famous road courses, it resides just north of San Francisco. It's been host to a wide variety of styles of racing, including sports cars, Indy cars, motorcycles, and even drag racing. But in recent decades, it's become most well known for holding one of NASCAR's rare road course weekends. For most tracks, this cornucopia would be a stretch, but considering the array of 5 different layouts to choose from, it's quite easy for the circuit to be adapted to any series needs. Most of the layouts clock in at around 2 to 2.5 miles in length and always feature an impressive amount of elevation change. This means many of the corners present the driver with a blind entry or apex. Some of these have a very distinct visual look, making them instantly recognizable. Corners such as the chute and the final hairpin feature street course-like walls surrounding the track, while the carousel is both picturesque and challenging. With few long straights, passing is often considered very difficult, but it rarely leaves races with a lack of action. Mistakes can be easy to make, offering opportunities for the brave. And it's not just the track itself which is tough. The pit entry's narrow path requires precise driving for those looking to make up time and leapfrog their competitors during stops. With more than 40 years of racing under its belt, Sonoma has become a staple for West Coast race fans. And what could be better than a glass of vino on a sunny hillside while the sound of engines echo around you?
So there you are, a little bit more about this winding and swooping venue here in the heart of California's wine country. Ryan, it's certainly a technical layout here at Sonoma Raceway. What are some of the fine details of this circuit that our drivers will face today here in the Grand Prix Legends Championship?
Yeah, this Sonoma track. It's been a while around for quite some time, and it's went through some changes in the past, and yeah, it's like you say, it's a bit of a technical track, but also a difficult track to make a move on. I think your best opportunities of making a move around here are going to be possibly that run up the hill to heading through turn 1 and turn 2, and then maybe heading down to the final corner, let's say turn 11, the hairpin. But apart from that, I can't really see many other places to make a move. So I think the name of the game today is going to be patience, timing your move, and pouncing and picking up the places when other people make mistakes. But it's a fantastic track, this Sonoma track, and I have to say I'm looking forward to this race today to see how these drivers get on.
It's certainly going to be very tough for them, that's for sure. Lots of changes of direction here, and making this Lotus 49 do that is not straightforward. Let's have a look at the championship standings and see where we look at the moment in this Grand Prix Legends series. And it's been a perfect start to the season for Mick Claridge. A full maximum 200 points, 30 points ahead of Topi Cortinemi in second position. Uwe Trengrade just behind Cortinemi in third, with Rob Olenek fourth, and Bruce Snelson in 5th.
Yep, and in the F2 Championship at the moment, that is still being led by Dave Cohen from the United States, but he's not that far ahead of second place Janne Lehmann, who's only 2 points back. So the fight for the F2 Championship is still really close at the moment, with Will McDonald still in contention in 3rd place, and then Andrew N in 4th from the United States, and Robert Plumley in 5th, rounded out the top 5. So at the moment, in the F2 Championship, it's still real close and all to play for.
That it is. And let's have a look finally at the Nations Cup standings. And by virtue of Mick Claridge's very impressive charge so far, leading by 73 points from the United States, are the United Kingdom. Finland are in 3rd, with Norway 4th, and France sitting in 5th at the moment. Let's have a look at the race details to see what the drivers are up against here today at Sonoma Raceway. This is the 7th round of the championship. So we've gone past halfway, 21 laps of this quite lengthy circuit here, about a minute and 40 for these drivers to get around. And as always, a completely open setup for the drivers as well, so they can tweak away to their heart's content. And getting these cars dialed in, very, very important. Actually, here today in California, very likely to have high track temperatures, and therefore getting that setup just right, very important indeed.
Absolutely. I was just about to say as well, look at the temperature on the screen. That's 83 degrees Fahrenheit air temperature, and the track temperature is 112 degrees Fahrenheit. So you could say, Peter, it's a bit toasty.
It is toasty indeed, yep, definitely. 44 degrees centigrade if you prefer on the track. Now, what does that mean? You're thinking, well, this is virtual motorsport. How does that make a difference? Well, the track temperature is absolutely critical to the amount of grip that the surface gives to the car and the driver. In the higher the temperature, particularly today, very excessively high temperature on track, that makes the surface very, very greasy and reduces the grip for the driver. So this is going to be a tough race, and the drivers will not be setting their personal best lap times, that's for sure. And as you rightly mentioned, Ryan, it's actually going to be more a race of survival, I would say, with track temperatures as high as they are.
Absolutely, as Mick Claridge is coming around the final corner now and heading up to the start-finish line to set his first lap in qualifying, and it's going to be a 1:30.571. So Mick Claridge to the top.
Very impressive lap time indeed from Mick Claridge, 1:30.571. Great to have Michel Dudignon back with this #1 car with the Gitanias livery. I'm very much a fan of that, in the white and blue colours. Michel running the #1 plate today as our top seed, an iRacing a little bit higher than Mick Claridge by about 300 points. So not often do we see Mick Claridge not running the #1 plate, but today he will have to make do with the #2. So coming around the final corner, very tight, awkward hairpin here. You can see Michel taking it as tight as he possibly can, back on the power, opening up that Cosworth DFV V8 engine. Over the line he comes. Can he beat it? No. 1:30.735 for Dudignon.
And Chris Maricami's coming across the line now, but he's not going to improve his lap time, so his second lap will be slower as Torpoli Cortinemi comes across the line. It's a 32.3, but his fastest lap was a 30.9. So at the moment, Cortinemi sits in third place.
So as things stand, it's Claridge, Dudignon and Cortinemi. Can Laust Olsen improve? No, he cannot. And well, Mick Claridge already on pole position. Can he go quicker on his second flying lap here? Not been many drivers been able to do it so far. Can Mick? Yes, he can. A 1:30.447 extends his advantage at the front of the pack. Now, can anyone have any answer to that lap time? I'll be honest, I'll be surprised, Ryan.
Honestly, I can't see anyone beating that. I think the only person that could have beat that was probably Michel Dudignon. But as we look at Benjamin Zocco at the moment, and good to see Benjamin back on track as well. He's always been involved with the Grand Prix Legends community and series, but because of other commitments like family and stuff like that, he's not been able to race as much as he has been in the past. So good to see him on track today.
Yeah, it's super actually, and he's almost got a kind of alternative Tunnix tea cake livery there as well. It kind of looks like a tea cake wrapper.
Yeah, I was about to say it. It sort of reminded me of something in real life, but I do like that livery. I do approve of it. As Benjamin's coming around the final corner now, and I thought he was going to clip the inside tyres there, but as he comes across the line now, can he improve? I don't think he can.
Nope, does not go quicker that time. So Benjamin Zocco will start no better than 6th position. Andrew Eng, what can he do? Another stalwart of the series. He stays in 16th position so far. Dave Cohen sitting 20th on the grid right now with this normally that would be good camouflage at some of our more green and leafy circuits, but here in the desert at Sonoma, the camouflage not quite as effective.
Yeah, absolutely not. As Richard Tucker comes comes around the final corner, and it looks like he might improve slightly as he comes across the line. Now, what is it? It's going to be 1:39.1, so it puts him 21st on the grid.
Yeah, that's going to be hard work. As you rightly mentioned, Ryan, the overtaking opportunities are few and far between here at Sonoma. Much more of a circuit where you have to pressure your rivals into mistakes to make progress up the field. But at this level, particularly at the sharp end, Claridge, Dunignon, Courtenay, that's going to be tough to do. No sign of Rob Olenek this week, which is unusual. We normally see Rob every single week. And do we have Uwe Trengrade either? No, we do not. So there's a few drivers missing from our usual suspects, Ryan.
Yeah, regarding Rob Olenek, during the week he became ill. I won't go into full details, but he got the COVID vaccine, and he still ended up feeling unwell during the week. So he's decided to give this race a miss.
Well, Rob, if you're watching, we send you our very best and wish you a speedy recovery. Hope you feel better soon. Looking forward to having you back on the grid. Well, we're just about to start this Grand Prix here from Sonoma Raceway, and Mick Claridge on pole position by nearly 0.3 of a second from Michel Dudignon. Will we see a battle between those two? I would think we will. Row 2, Topi Courtenay and Laust Olsen, with the third row showing Chris Murakami and Benjamin Soko. Row 4 will see Bill Tyler and Robert Plumley roll off, and Gary Teal and John Olsen round out your top 10.
Starting in 11th is Yanni Lehman with Randy Huff in 12th. Chris Hendler, good to see him back, in 13th. Glenn Becker in 14th with Andreas Bruno 15th. 16th is Andrew N. Paul Ferrer 17th. Roland Wallbank 18th. Steve O'Malley 19th. And rounding out the 20 is Dave Cohen.
Our last few runners starting today in this Grand Prix: Richard Tucker, Xavier Sanchez, Eugenio Massa and Robert Reynolds. 24 cars here at Sonoma today. As you can see, Mick Claridge prepared on pole position in the black and orange machine with the number 2, Michel Dudignon, on his inside in the second place on the grid. Who will triumph today? We've seen an unprecedented run of victories for Mick Claridge, well into double figures now in a row. Can anyone stop him today? You'd think that that's going to be the job of Michel Dudignon and Topi Courtenay. So as you can see, our drivers now starting to take their grid spots for the start of this race, and the drivers lined up all the way around the final corner as well. So it's a good thing that here on iRacing, every driver gets their own set of virtual lights, so they don't need to worry. Of course, some drivers, if you're right at the back of the grid, you can't see the lights. No such problem here in the virtual world. The lights are up, waiting for them to go, and we are green here in wine country for this round 7 of the Grand Prix Legends Championship, and it's an absolutely blinding start for Mick Claridge. Michel Dudignon a little bit sluggish, but Claridge, we know how good he is on cold tyres, and really showing that straight away as he heads up into the opening sector.
Yeah, absolutely. Great start for Claridge, and Michel Dudignon, like you say, was a bit sluggish off the start, but still managed to keep second place. But behind him, Topi Courtenay, and the surprise for me in qualifying, Laust Olsen currently in 4th.
Yep, Laust Olsen maintaining his grid position to the number 10 seed, and right up there at the sharp end of the field. But it's a superb start for Mick Claridge. It looks like we've lost the number 23 seed of Richard Tucker early on. He's already towing back to pit lane, so not a good start for the 23 car. But Mick Claridge in the number 2 machine out there in P1 and really setting his advantage early, because, well, on the cold tyres, this machine is an absolute animal. It's got such an aggressive power delivery from its naturally aspirated V8 that, well, if you just have that little bit too much wheel spin, you can easily lose the car. But that's where Mick Claridge really is a master, using his intricate knowledge of this car to get that advantage on lap 1, which is so critical.
It is, and Mick Claridge as well. But he's what we keep mentioning it before, but he's one of those people, like, you can't afford to let him get away, because once he gets in that zone and in that mindset, he's unbeatable.
Yep, he is. He's certainly proven that over the last season and a half or so. As we're riding on board Cosworth DFV Cam, our favourite here in the double Scotch commentary booth. We're riding on the top of Michel Dudignon's Cosworth DFV, trumpeting away into the Californian hillside. Topi Courtenay doing what Topi Courtenay has done the last little while, just running up the front, running nice and steady, not necessarily challenging for wins very often, but clocking up the points even on a bad day, and that's very, very important indeed in this 12-round championship. But Dudignon looks to me, Ryan, that Dudignon's now just getting himself sorted out. He's got a bit of temperature into the tyres and now can finally have the confidence to push and try and chase down Mick.
Yeah, I think Dudignon's probably the person today it could beat Mick, but at the moment Mick's kind of just maintaining that gap at the moment, and I think with Cortinemi being behind Dudignon, I think it's kind of one of those situations you've got to keep your eyes on the front, but you've also got to keep one eye, I suppose, behind you as well.
So down we go then, on to the end of lap 2 for Mick Claridge, leading this race by about a second at the moment. Topi Cortinemi another 0.6 of a second back from Michel Dudignon. And fastest lap of the race, Mick Claridge, 1:31.0, which actually isn't a million miles away from his pole time, about 0.6 of a second back from his pole position effort. So as the fuel burns off, which it does at quite a rate in these machines, as the fuel burns off, we could see some really, really hot lap times indeed.
Absolutely, and the battle for P6 is going on at the moment between Gary Teal and Bill Tyler, and surprisingly, Robert Plumley has had a good qualifying as well. He's up there in 8th place, so good, a great drive from Robert so far.
Yep, certainly easy to spot Robert out on track, and now this has got to be one of the most horribly tricky corners here. The swooping off-camber left-hander. You can see the drivers will be fighting. Whoa, there you go. That's a perfect demonstration there of how difficult these cars are to drive. You're coming around that off-camber left-hander and the car just wants to break away from you. It wants to snap wide. And then when you ask for the power, keeping the car in a straight line is actually very, very difficult. And then when you want it to change direction here, the car just wants to go straight. So it's like a disobedient dog, this car. But you love it, really.
Yeah, I was going to say the Lotus 49. I don't know why. I've always compared it to trying to ride a book or trying to ride a raging bull. You're trying to fight it all the time, and it just wants to fight back. Now, would that be one of those motorised bulls that you get in dodgy bars in certain parts of the world? Yeah.
At least they don't bite back as well. Well, maybe it's doing that because Robert Plumley's wearing a red helmet, and of course bulls don't like the colour red, do they? Anyway, GSRC replay. It's number 6 car of Xavier Sanchez. Now, going to have a look up the inside at the hairpin. I think so. But I think he might clash with Ferrer here in the Ferrari painted machine. No. Up we go then until this swooping left-hander, full throttle through here, but gets the move done. Very nice there from Xavier Sanchez.
Yeah, that was a nice move. He didn't lunge it up the inside into the hairpin. He was careful and a little bit cautious, which you can understand with these cars as well because it's so easy to walk up. As I say that, the battle for P7 as well is going on between Bill Tyler and Robert Plumley. So, yeah, not just close up at the front, but close in the midfield as well.
Yep, it certainly is all the way through. The drivers just settling in, knowing that it's a very long race here at Sonoma. 21 laps. With these track temperatures, you're every corner. You cannot lose concentration because this car will break away and catch you. With track temperature more or less the same than what it was in qualifying, so the drivers will have a little bit of an impression of what to expect. As we see, Mick Claridge pops in another fastest lap of the race, 1:31.0 this time again, 0.3 quicker than Michel Dudignon that time by, and the gap already up to 1.6 of a second.
Yeah, so Mick Claridge is pretty much pushing at the moment, and he's got the gap up to about 1.5 seconds to about 1.6 seconds. So Mick Claridge, like I said, once he gets in that, the battle between Laus Dawson and Benjamin Zocco is going on at the moment.
Benjamin Zocco, this will be very, very late at night for him over in Australia or down under. Is he Australia or New Zealand? Is he? Antipodean. That covers both. I always find that's a good word to use. Down under, let's just say, is Benjamin Soko. Either way, a very nasty time difference. So we're delighted to have him here racing, and it's been a good start to the race for him so far, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely has. And as soon as you said down under, for some reason, I had the song "Men at Work," the Land Down Under playing in my head. So thanks for that, Peter.
Oh, that's a good thing. That's a great song. Traveling in a Friday Combi, or racing in a Lotus 49. Ding 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 ding. Well, you need to be the muscles from Brussels to handle one of these things, though, Ryan.
That's very true. Very true.
But if you'd be 6'4", you might be a bit tall for this.
Yeah, I don't think I.
I'll stop because there is about 20 different references you could make to that. Anyway, let's you just smile and I'll make you a Vegemite sandwich. Anyway, stop it, Peter. Anyway, back to Benjamin Soko is going to watch this and go, I'm not even Australian, I'm Kiwi. We don't know. Anyone who can let us know in the chat would be very much obliged if you can tell us. So we are now we aren't counted by time here in the Grand Prix Legends series. We are counted by laps. We're on lap 6 of 21, so just approaching 1/3 distance right now.
Yep, as we're still riding on board with Soko at the moment, heading down to one of the trickiest corners I find anyway, because it's sort of like a double apex, if you like, Peter. You've got to get the line right, and getting the exit is so critical.
It is, yeah, and trying to get the car, you can actually loop the car around there as well. If you're just a little bit too early off the brake, the car just wants to rotate and come around and give you a bit of a slap, which isn't very pleasant. But Benjamin Soko is certainly starting to close in on Laus Stolzen right now. A little bit further back in the pack, we're looking at Xavier Sanchez, who's on the charge, trying to get past Yanni Lehman. And he's going to have another go into this hairpin. He's going to let off the brake. Oh, so close to making contact. And actually, luckily there, Yanni Lehman sees it coming and thinks better not to get involved in a bit of contact here.
Yeah, I don't think either of them was willing to give up too easy into the hairpin, but I think Yanni on the exit just decided it's not worth fighting it, and plus he's in a good position at the moment anyway. He's still in 12th place at the moment, so yeah, still having a good race.
So we're getting confirmation now from Rob Olenek as well. Great to hear from you, Rob. He has confirmed that Ben Soko is Australian, so we can carry on with the Down Under references, Ryan.
Yeah, let's just save the singing for after the race.
Yeah, maybe wise. Yeah. You're a wise man. But here,
go for the move.
Oh, not quite. But there is a little bit of an opportunity. Is he going to try it? Oh, we thought about it, but we know that Xavier Sanchez likes the run into the final hairpin. He's sort of going for a bit of a block pass kind of option there as well. And you look at how much actually effort you've got to put into the wheel there to try and get the car just trying to go and come on, turn. You can see actually he's got a decent amount of lock on there, and the car's just going straight. Oh, but he's forced into a mistake there as well as Olsen, and Sanchez goes up the inside again. Oh, just gets the car slowed down. This is brilliant stuff from Xavier Sanchez, charging through the field. He's up into the top 10 now, and a little bit of interest up the front. Ryan, Michel Dudignon eclipsing Mick Claridge's fastest lap of the race, only by 300ths of a second, but a win is a win, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely. So Michel Dudignon, even though he's fallen back a little bit, he's still giving it everything and to try and catch Mick. But at the moment, Mick is just staying in front. He's maintaining that gap, and we're only on lap 8 at the moment. But I have to say, Mick Claridge is just hopefully I don't jinx him. He's putting in pretty much a Mick Claridge performance.
Honestly, I think you could walk under 10 ladders and it wouldn't jinx Mick Claridge, the run that he's on at the moment. I feel he should be... well, the crazy thing is here, because he'll dominate the race, and he'll come in and have a chat with us and go, yeah, I was really lucky there. I'm going, well, if that was luck, go and buy some lottery tickets, Mick. You'll have enough to buy a real Lotus 49 after with that much luck.
Yeah, he's sort of... I don't know. he's sort of like a real life racing driver. He's never happy. But look further back, the battle between Olsen and Zoko is still going on at the moment for 4th place.
It is indeed. Soko having a look there. Olsen sees it coming, just closes the door enough, but Soko on the charge. And their lap time's very closely matched at the moment, around the 1:32, so they're just about a second off the pace of the outright leaders, McClarridge and Michel Dudignon, and to a certain extent Topi Cortinemi. But it seems to me, Ryan, that at the moment Claridge and Dudignon are on just that slightly higher level to the rest.
Yeah, pretty much. They're pretty much just checking out from the rest of the field, and I think the race is between Claridge and Dudignon on it pretty much, and it's pretty much a battle for best of the rest, if you like.
Yeah, it's certainly been that way over the last little while here in the Grand Prix Legends series, where it's been very much Mick Claridge domination. And who can stop it? Well, I'm sure we'll at some point. But Chris Hengler has had a problem, of course, really close to the F2 Championship last season. Let's see what happens to Chris in the number 13 car. Now, you only have to just touch a wheel onto the dusty surface and round you go. Let's see what happens to Chris. He's not using too much of the curb there as well. Oh, just a little bit too much mustard on the way in, and whoop, round he goes.
Yeah, he just basically carried too much speed and missed the turn in and just ran slightly wide. And I've done that a few times myself around this track. But the back up at or close to the front of the battle for 4th place is still going on between Olsen and Zoko, and there's pretty much not been anything to separate these guys.
No, it looks like Laust Olsen's got a little bit of the hurry on here. He's had Soko come close to making a move, and Olsen's thinking, right, I need to push just that little bit harder. And in the pursuit of keeping Soko behind, you can here at Sonoma. It's one of those circuits where you don't necessarily have to have the optimum lap speed over your rival. You just need to be able to position the car in the right places, and it makes it very, very hard for a rival to get by. I remember a fellow commentator of ours there, Ryan Dane Baird, who is about a second and a half a lap quicker than me in a Porsche Cup race, and I just managed to make myself as wide as a tractor, and he could not pass me, and he was not a happy man after the end of the race.
So basically, it was like Fernando Alonso at Abu Dhabi in 2010, you could say.
Yes, I was what was the name of the Russian guy who drove for Renault? Oh, that's terrible.
Vitaly Petrov.
I was the Vitaly Petrov to his Fernando Alonso, yes, exactly so.
Good boy.
Oh, who's that off on the right? Oh, a big crash there. That's a very fast part of the circuit. A car parked up on the grass. I wonder if it's a car maybe a lap down, letting the traffic by maybe, but it's not one of our leaders. It's not Cortinemi, it's not Dudignon, it's not Claridge. Whoa, Olsen wide. I wonder if that maybe just took Laust Olsen's attention there, perhaps, seeing a car parked up on the inside. Maybe not, but now is there contact here? Zoko goes for the inside, and Olsen tries to outbrake and thinking, oh no, this isn't going to stop. Zoko goes by and he says, cheers, mate.
Yeah, that was, I think Laust Olsen, like you say, he probably just got distracted, and that allowed Benjamin through. And I have to say, fair play to Benjamin, he didn't let up at any point in that battle, and I think it was just a matter of time before Laust Olsen tracked under the pressure, and unfortunately it did into the hairpin.
Oh, look at that slide there for Benjamin Zoko. Well, it is almost time for breakfast in Australia. I wonder if a strange lady took him in and gave him some, because whatever he's had for breakfast, he's absolutely flying. Yeah,
I think probably, yeah. As Peter's continuing with the mute.
We're going to get censored by the YouTube North Korean police for mentioning a song like that. I've finally made Ryan Walker speechless. It's taken me 2.5 seasons, but finally Ryan Walker is speechless. I've managed it. Half race distance here at Sonoma. Xavier Sanchez on the charge himself, 22nd to 10th. Who was it who said but you can't overtake at Sonoma. Well, it might have been me, but oh, there's a freebie. Oh, quick reactions there. That was the number 12 machine spinning. That was Robert Plumley broadsiding into the final hairpin, and there was some rapid reactions there, Ryan. What do you see here?
Yeah, I think it might just be Robert maybe just downshifting too quickly, or maybe just trying to get on the power too early. But as he headed to the hoop, he just lost the rear end, so that could be just a case of too much brake bias possibly, or just downshifting too quickly. But like you say, Peter, awesome reactions from Xavier to avoid him.
Oh, little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there. That's the number 9 machine of John Olsen getting busy with Robert Plumley, I think, who's kind of trying to gather his thoughts again after that little incident. Yanni Lehman coming into play there too, and coming into this very fast left-hander. You've got to be so careful in here. If you get offline and get onto the marbles, well, it's very easy to spin there. But they all get through nicely. I can tell you that this is really, really top-class stuff here on this battle for the edges of the top 10, because even on an open track, when you're practicing on your own, that car is that corner, tricky to keep the car in a straight line. But these guys are battling wheel-to-wheel and keeping it on the black stuff. Brilliant to watch.
Absolutely, and yeah, this is why I love calling the series and watching these races, because the race is close and you get hard racing, but these drivers give it sort of respect and a bit of room as they head down to the hairpin now. And yeah, that corner as well, it's so difficult to get right. I've had the same issue before, not in these cars, but with the Skip Barber and the SRF. It's a tricky corner for sure.
That it is. I have to say, I need the traction control system of the incredible Corvette C8R to keep me on track here. As well. I can manage without the ABS, but the traction control is quite handy. So let's see how Lance Olsen's getting on. He's unfortunately had to give best to Benjamin Soko, who's on an absolute charge today. But Gary Teal now got the bit between his teeth. He's back there. You can just see him at the back of the shot there. The number 8 car, the silver with the yellow stripe up the middle. And whoa, look at Lance Olsen there. Proper rally style over the curb. He had the car at a 45-degree angle. Has he got Francois Delacour logged in on his account?
I was about to say, I guess it's someone else that's racing under his account, because yeah, I thought Scandinavian drivers were meant to be smooth.
Well, they're smooth. They're just often at very bizarre angles going around corners with a big smile on their face. Well, certainly I would anyway. Round the final hairpin they go. 8 laps to go here at Sonoma, and Mick Claridge opened up the gap by 3.5 seconds to Michel Dudignon. The fastest lap of the race set by Mick Claridge, 1:30.642. And look at this move here from Robert Plumley, getting back past John Olsen. Yanni Lehman there at the back of shot 2. So Plumley recovering very quickly from that earlier blunder.
Yeah, he's got his head focused again. So yeah, made the move on John Olsen, and it was a good move as well. And John Olsen, still having a good race, but he's under pressure now from Yanni Lehman. That he is, and that's not what you want. Lehman plus 0. Oh, and I wonder if that was maybe a slowdown penalty to serve there for John Olsen, because he just pulled over and blended out the throttle straight away. So I wonder if the iRacing stewards have put down their glass of Napa Valley wine and actually watched out for the track limits. Should have them at Spa today. Yeah, you can't. There's not really many places you can get a slowdown, but turn 1 or the first few corners you can get one if you cut over the curb too much. So I think that's maybe what John Olsen did, and yeah, good heads up driving there to get out of the way as quickly as possible, not hold anyone up. But at the moment as it runs wide, I thought he was going to run into the gravel there.
Well, one thing we can give John Olsen some massive props, because I think I saw a GSRC badge on his overalls. Big respect there. So given that Don Peake is not here racing today, John Olsen quite clearly the people champion of the day.
Yeah, pretty much. And apparently a GSRC sticker on these cars gives you an extra 20 horsepower.
I have heard that. Yes, I have heard that. It's like getting your car chipped. You drop it off and nothing really changes, and then it's quicker. That's what a GSRC sticker does. So get it. Also, can you imagine what a GSRC T-shirt does from simracingmerch.com?
Yeah, absolutely. As a rider on board of Chris Hendler as well, currently battling for 13th place with Paul Ferrer, and Chris Hendler is really. Yeah, last season he was in contention for the F2 Championship, but this season it seems to be
big
nice
wobble.
drive.
Big wobble. I think they're coming past some lap traffic there. Now, I have to say, I love that colour scheme on Chris Hengler's car with the blue and the yellow. Now, Ryan, I know you're a fan of racing history like me. Do you remember in British GT the blue coral Porsche 911 GT1? Remember those?
I do actually. Yes. I love that livery.
It reminds me of those colours. The blue and kind of goldy yellow.
Yeah, and also up at the front as well. Mick Claridge is still leading the way and pretty much got the gap up to about 3.5 seconds now. And even though he's got a decent gap, he's still absolutely wringing the neck out of that car, just throwing it over the curbs and everything. And you'd think with Mick Claridge leading the championship, he would be a little bit more careful, but that doesn't seem to be the case here.
Oh, it seems like he has one speed, and he can adapt within. He's always very close to 100%, but he can adapt just 1 or 2%. So it's so controlled, and it just shows you when you've got that much spare bandwidth, I suppose, it makes running at this incredible pace that bit easier. I mean, I'm sure Michel Dudignon is absolutely on the pipe as much as he possibly can be, and 3.5 seconds down the road. Thing is, though, we've seen a couple of drivers run on at the final hairpin. It doesn't take a big mistake, and all of a sudden that 3.5 second gap can just disappear in a flash.
It can. It's one of those corners that it invites you to try and brake late, but obviously when you've got a bump there, like we see with Michel at the moment, just bouncing over it. If you brake on that bump or brake too late, you can run wide, and like you said, Peter, that gap can just evaporate instantly.
That it can, yeah. It can evaporate even quicker than the Angels sharing a Scotch whisky warehouse, which is always too fast, as well as a 10 years link for you. 1:30.5, that's qualifying pace for Mick Claridge. That's very close to the lap time he's set to start this race in P1. Absolutely incredible. I mean, we know that tyre wear isn't necessarily an issue in these cars over the race length and the durability of the tyre. But at these very, very high track temperatures, you've got to think, Ryan, that the tyres aren't quite in the condition they might be at other Grand Prix in this series. So for Mick Claridge to be laying down qualifying times after 17 laps is quite remarkable. Yeah,
absolutely. As just looking at the temperature now, the track temperature has fallen down a couple of degrees down to 110. So the track's a lot kind of cool, but it's still hot at the moment as Laust also runs slightly wide through the carousel, but manages to get it back in the middle of the corner and still get a good exit.
Everything is relative. I don't even think I get that track temperature in my frying pan, let alone on the road surface here in Scotland. It's really, really hot. You wouldn't want to touch it at that sort of track temperature. Of course, here at Sonoma, of course, you can see it's very dusty. But interesting, the bit racing early on in the season here when the grass is still green, and you go, where are they racing? That's not Sonoma. It can't be. Oh, cones. Ben Soko just banging through the cones there, using all the road and more.
Yep, and still up ahead of him is Benjamin Zoko, who's managed to just eke out a little bit of a gap, and Laust Olsen, he's still giving it everything, but behind Laust Olsen you've got Gary Teal, so if either of these two in front of him make a mistake, you could be there to benefit and pick up a couple of positions.
Yep, could be. We do see it often in the last couple of laps where the drivers are just getting that little bit of mental fatigue coming in. You might think, oh, well, this is a race, it's only 45 minutes long or so. That's silly. Believe me, these cars are a constant battle. Every single corner, it's trying to rip your head off. Particularly, you can actually see how gingerly they're taking this swooping left-hander to keep the car on the straight and narrow, get it pointed, and then on the power, because these cars have huge amounts of power, but all of the power is right up the top of the rev range. So you put your foot down, not a great deal happens, and then kaboom, all of the power comes in at once, and the tyre just gets overwhelmed. It's such a balancing act to drive these cars, and of course that does it does wear the mind down quite a bit.
Yeah, it does. And at the moment, rider on board with Gary Teal at the moment, heading down this through one of the trickiest sections I find anyway, Peter, because you're carrying so much speed, but if you carry just a little bit too much speed or more speed than expected, then you can run wide and clip the gravel, and it can kind of compromise you.
Yes, it can. I always find just trying to get the car to turn in that particular section, and that's maybe necessarily an issue of setup as well, getting that car to knowing the tricks of the trade of this car to get it dialed in to be able to handle certain demands from certain circuits. This has been a brilliant moonlight performance from Benjamin Soko in the number 7 car, and at the moment holding 4th, but Lars Olsen might well have a late charge to have something to say about it.
Yeah, I thought Benjamin was pulling away at one point, but Lars Olsen has managed to reel him back in. So we've got a 3-car battle for 4th position at the moment, and who's going to come out on top? It's so hard to predict, but at the moment, as Lars Olsen runs wide in the carousel, and that's allowed Gary Teal to make a move up the inside. Can he try and get the move done before we head down to this double right-hander?
Oh, as you can see, hard on the brakes they go. The number 8 machine of Gary Teal gonna, and they're up on the curbs. Oh my goodness me. Gary Teal just gonna make it around the outside. Wow, what a move.
Yeah, that was a fantastic move, and both of them are on the curbs, or basically threw the car right up the curbs, and I thought I was going to end up in contact, but we're just about to look at the replay right now.
Yeah, let's have a look at this one again, because that was an absolutely extraordinary move there from the number 8 of Gary Teal. So Olsen on the inside in the yellow and blue car, Teal on the outside in the grey and yellow machine. Olsen takes the inside line and just maybe grabs a little bit too much the inside, sliding around, slipping around, but wow, that is in a car with no aerodynamic help at all. That is very impressive move there from Gary Teal.
Yeah, that was a great move, but also brave as well, because I thought it was going to end up in disaster, like I mentioned. But back up at the front, Mick Claridge has just about got his lead up to. He's got his lead actually up to 4 seconds. So Mick Claridge has not pulled away and dominated as well. He's pulled away, but not dominated as much as I thought. Michel de Dion still kept him in touch. So Mick Claridge, nevertheless, still putting on a great performance, and it proves again why he's a champion in this series.
It certainly does. Yeah, let's have a look at how they compare. And well, Dudignon just taking little slithers out of Mick Claridge, and then all of a sudden a fast lap gets launched in. So Mick Claridge very much in control of this race as he comes over the line to take the white flag. This will be our final lap of the 7th round of the Grand Prix Legends Series Season 2 for 2021, all here live on the Global Sim Racing channel. Let's go back to this duel between Olsen and Teal, and as you rightly mentioned, Ryan, it was a very brave move there for Gary Teal, and it's a move that would be, well, I would say in this series, with the respect between driver to driver, it was brave. In another series, it might have been seen as stupid, because to have the respect to run side by side, it's not always a guarantee in other series, but it is here in the Grand Prix Legends. Yeah,
absolutely. I think, like you say, in another series or another official series or whatever, I think it would have been considered a bit stupid, like you mentioned, but in this series, because the driving standards are so good, the respect's good between the drivers, that I think you can make a move like that, and you've got a good level of trust that you can pull it off.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was definitely part of the calculation of that move. But we pick up our leader then, Mick Claridge. Used to seeing him with the number 1 on the car, but with Michel Dudignon, slightly higher I rating. Mick Claridge running the number 2 this week, but still out in front, our championship leader, defending champion as well. Last season he won every race he entered, and this is going to be the same today. A very stylish slide around the final corner. Mick Claridge wins again in the Grand Prix Legends Series, live here from Sonoma. Michel Durignon keeps him honest all the way, coming home in second. We wait for Topi Cortinemi. There he is, another podium for Topi, and he just keeps pumping out those podiums.
Absolutely. Benjamin Zocco coming around the final corner, and it looks like he's going to hold on to take fourth place ahead of Gary Teo and Laus Olsen as well. So a great drive from Benjamin.
Yeah, absolutely superb stuff from the Australian driver. He can reward himself with a can of 4X later on as well, or a Castlemaine maybe. So we're just about to see our last few runners come over the line here at Sonoma. Do not go anywhere here though on the Global Sim Racing channel, because we will be right back after a very short break to go through the official results and some driver interviews as well. See you shortly. Welcome back to Sonoma International Raceway, where we have seen another Mick Claridge masterclass here in the 7th round of the Grand Prix Legends Series. And let's get a full look at our official results today, so you can see where your favourite driver finished up the race. Mick Claridge wins by 3.7 seconds from Michel Durignon, with Benjamin Zocco classified in 3rd position. So a problem for Topi Cortinemi. Well, there's more of a story there, I'm sure. Gary Teo finished in 4th, followed by Laus Olsen, Xavier Sanchez, Chris Murakami. Quiet day for Chris, but good result nonetheless. Bill Tyler was 8th, with Yanni Lehman in 9th, and John Olsen rounding out the top 10.
Finishing in 11th was Robert Plumley, so a great result for him, with Paul Ferrer in 12th, Andrew Eng 13th, with Brandy Hoffman 14th, 15th was Andreas Bruno, with Topi Cortinemi in 16th. So yeah, it looks like he's had technical issues or iRacing issues. But at 17th, we've got Eugenio Massa, 18th was Ron Wallbank, Steve O'Malley, 19th, 20th was Chris Hendler, 21st was Robert Reynolds, Glenn Becker, 22nd, 23rd was Richard Tucker, and rounding out the results in 24th was Dave Cotten.
Well, the thing is, we with Topi Cortinemi there, I mean, I wonder maybe It certainly wouldn't be incident points. You think maybe not serving a slowdown or something like that, perhaps, Ryan?
That's what I was thinking. I honestly can't believe it would be anything like incident limits or off-track limits, because from what I saw, he's racing. He had a clean race, but like you said, Peter, I think it could be a slowdown or even technical issues, because I know last night Toppy did say on the Lotus 49 Discord that he's moved house, so I don't know if it's maybe internet problems or internet troubles or technical issues, but that's got to feel like a slap in the face.
It does. It's strange because we saw him cross the line as well. That's the bit that's very confusing. But I can confirm we now have our race winner here to join us to have a chat and share his thoughts on another dominant performance. Mick Claridge is with Ryan Walker.
Yeah, Mick Claridge taking another win today, and I have to say, Mick, you're having a pretty good season, and you're leading the championship, even though we've still got about a few rounds left anyway. Do you think you can hold on and take the championship, or are you just taking it one race at a time as we head towards the end of the season?
Well, yeah, definitely one race at a time, mate. Yeah, I don't know. Is Michigan next week or is it the week after? I don't know. That's anyone's race. Right, Suzuka next week. Yeah, so yeah, looking forward to that. That's. I don't think the setup's going to be too much different to today, really, which is weird me saying that. But yeah, then Michigan, and we got a lot of good oval guys in this series who know how to set the car up. So yeah, no, one race at a time, mate.
And maybe a bit off topic as well, but me and Peter were talking about Topi Cortinemi, and he was running third for most of the race, but after the race finished, he's been classified further down in the field. Do you know anything about that, or is it more a surprise to you?
Oh no, I didn't even look. I actually heard him say something about getting disqualified. I don't know what for. No idea. No, but I have to say, unbelievable drive from Michelle and Toppy. They had about an hour's practice. That's it. Michelle just came in last minute, and Toppy's just moved house, so he's been really busy and he hasn't had any practice at all. He just turned up this morning and started asking questions about setups and stuff like that, and how much fuel to use about an hour before the race. So there you go.
Yeah, we were quite surprised by that as well, by looking at Toppy and Michelle. Like you say, considering they've only had basically today to practice before the race, it's quite surprising to see them up at the front. But Michelle, we know, has always been quick with this car, and Toppy as well. Every race that he does in this car, he's always improving. Do you think Toppy can take a win this season before it finishes, or what do you think?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, he's definitely quick enough. I think with Toppy is, and he probably, I'm not sure if he agrees with this or not, but I think it's a case of he just hasn't had a win yet, and he's had a good few chances at a win. Once he gets one, I think that will be it. He'll really be fighting for wins all the time, you know. So yeah, definitely. And it might be at Michigan, you know, or Suzuka. You never know. You never know when it's going to come, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking ahead to Suzuka as well, how do you think you'll do heading into there next week? Do you think you can? I know we keep saying it. Do you think you can hold on and take another win in this season and keep up the good run of form, or do you think it's going to be a much harder race?
I think it's going to be a tough one. Hopefully, Rob's back with us next week. Get well soon, mate. Hello to you, mate. Yeah, saying about Rob, that should have been a really close battle between me and Rob today. Rob did less practice than me, and he was 2 tenths up. I think it took me about a good 4 or 5 hours to get on his pace this week, and he hardly practiced, and so he's obviously not with us today. But yeah, Michelle, if Michelle does a bit more practice, you know, maybe another hour on top of what he done today, he'll be on pace. And it's always a thing with Michelle that, you know, he came into the practice session this morning and I just thought, okay, let's have a look, see what's going on. And he was, you know, a good couple of seconds off. Then it went down to a second. Then in the end, it went down to like half a second. And I just thought, oh, God, he might get there in the race, you know, and start pulling some serious lap times. But, you know, I got lucky there. So, yeah, if he gets a few more, you know, sessions practice, he'll definitely be up there for the win. So yeah, and I don't know, Suzuka's just a bit of a freaky track. I never know how to set the car up for Suzuka, but looking forward to it now.
And then before we let you go, Mick, is there anyone that you want to give a shout to?
Yeah, just to Rob today. Yeah, we really missed him today, so hopefully see him back on track soon.
Good stuff. Well, again, congratulations on the win, Mick, and we look forward to seeing you on track at Suzuka next week.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Cheers, guys.
As that was the race winner, Mick Claridge is joining us, and I believe up next, Peter, you've got a fourth place finisher, or now third place finisher on the results. Benjamin Zocco standing by with you.
I do indeed. Yeah, Ben, welcome to the GSRC commentary box. First of all, what on earth is the time where you are right now?
Oh, it's not too bad. It's only 26 past midnight, so good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Yes, absolutely. We now, Ben, we should probably actually apologise right now. If you do watch the broadcast back, we did make one or two men at work man down under references.
Oh, I expect it.
Oh, good. One of my favourite songs, actually, I might add.
it's a good one. But I'm happy for you to do your best Aussie accents, mate, and chuck a shrimp on the barbie for me. Whatever makes you feel comfortable.
I'll tell you what, I'll have a can of 4X.
Too right, bloody oath, truth, mate.
Now, I've probably asked you this before, Ben. Are you a Ford Black or are you a Halden Black?
I was Holden for sure growing up. And then by the time I could get a license and drive myself, I got into the Nissans instead because they were cheaper and the turbos were faster on the street. So I don't really care for Holden or Ford anymore. But yeah, back when I was a kid, for sure, I had a VK Commodore. My brother had a VL. It was awesome.
Nice. I love it. Let's talk about the race because you had an absolute blinder today charging through the pack. Tell us about it.
You know what? I didn't even realise that I finished third. Who did I finish third? Who crashed in front of me?
Well, we saw it's bizarre. We saw Topi Kortenemi go over the finish line in third, and it didn't show him on the results, like maybe being disqualified. We've no idea why, but yeah. So you've got a podium. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, I don't often get to make these races, so I just do them when I can, and I don't expect anything good. So yeah, that's I would have come in here and had a chat with you regardless of where I finished, but yeah, podium, sweet. I'm dripping with sweat. That was a really intense race. I didn't know what position I was in because I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. This track is so difficult, and I decided to wear some little shoes for this race, and I was sleeping on the pedals a bit, so I didn't feel very comfortable. But I think I was doing the same kind of pace as I did in the race yesterday, and had about the same pace. So all's good. Apologies to Chris early on. I went to do a bit of a dummy down the inside into the double hairpin thing, and he moved to defend, so I just went back out onto the racing line, and then there was huge net code and put him into a spin. I didn't even realize it was net code until I looked up and saw that I had contact, because I'm like, I was nowhere near him. So a shame to spin him out. It would have been good trying to pass him legitimately. And then I somehow caught up to Louston and was just put pressure on him, knowing how easy it is to make a mistake here, because it's such a tricky track. So I was just putting pressure on, and eventually I got a good run, and I moved to the inside, and I think I kind of scared him into braking a bit too late, and managed to sneak by then. And then after that, I kind of forgot how to drive, and the pressure was really getting to me, and I was just trying to hang on and do consistent lap times from then. So yeah, the race went by really fast, and it was a lot of fun. So thanks to Gary and Loust and Chris for racing with me nice and close.
Well, it was certainly a pleasure. Thank you to you guys for giving us such great entertainment. It was a pleasure to watch. Benjamin, before we let you go to go and have go for a sleep, who would you like to give a shout out to here on GSRC?
I'll give a shout out to my wife Gwyn and my son Zolt.
Fantastic stuff. Well, Ben, great to have you. Looking forward to the next time we have you back again in GPL, and good morning.
Thanks, guys.
So that is all we have time for here today on the Global Sim Racing channel for this broadcast of the Grand Prix Legends Series Round 7 from Sonoma. Join us the same time next week for Round 8 at Suzuka in Japan, another circuit where boiling track temperatures are one to watch out for. A huge thank you goes to the companies that provide the software and the hardware for our broadcast, and you can see them up here on your screen. An additional thank you goes to June Lalonde, who provides all of our wonderful music. Check out on the screen of how to get hold of her work on bandcamp.com. A big thank you goes to Ryan, Sean and Dougie for their expert work on today's broadcast. And if you'd like to hear more about the Global Sim Racing channel, including our schedule of upcoming races and broadcasts, you can find all of that on globalsimracingchannel.com. Also, keep an eye on our social media feeds, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, and the handles are at the bottom of your screen. Don't forget to head over to the YouTube page and hit the big red subscribe button so you never miss a moment when we go live here on the Global Sim Racing channel. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.